I was wiping down the granite counters in the cabin kitchen, beer half finished on the windowsill, when I made the call that would rip me in half. "Hey, Uncle Dave," I said, grinning into the phone. "Just wanted to check what time you're heading to Madison's wedding tomorrow. You driving straight there or staying overnight?" There was a pause, a long, weird silence on the other end. "It's Mark," he finally said, voice tight. "Buddy, that wedding was last Saturday." I blinked. My hand froze mid-wipe. "No, wait." I spun toward my desk, heart thudding hard. "It's September 2nd, right?" I snatched the invitation off the corkboard. August 26th, not September. August 26th. "Dave," I said, my voice dry. "What the hell?" "I thought you couldn't make it or something," he said, real slow now. "I asked your mom where you were. She just said, 'He didn't come. Figured you had work.'" "I had the date wrong, Dave. I didn't even know it changed. No one told me silence again. The kind that fills a room and crushes your chest." Quick note: before listening, share which city or country you're watching from. I dropped into the wooden chair like someone's had knocked the wind out of me. I looked around the cabin, my place, my dream spot. I'd just finished the new railing on the porch, built every damn part of this with my own hands. The same hands that helped Madison build her life every time she needed me. I opened Facebook on my laptop. There she was, my little sister, in a long white dress, smiling like a magazine bride. Trent grinning beside her like he just won a prize. My parents all dressed up, cousins, friends, a full crowd, raising glasses under string lights. Everyone, except me. I refreshed the page, scrolled, more pictures, more tags. Nothing from me. No, "wish you were here." No, "missed you today." Not even a damn emoji from Madison. I sat there, staring, feeling heat crawl up the back of my neck. Rage, embarrassment. Mostly shame. Like I'd missed the most important day of her life, and somehow it was on me to figure out why. The worst part? I wasn't even shocked, not really. Somewhere in my gut, I'd known something was off for months. This just made it official. I hung up the phone without saying goodbye, went out to the truck, popped open the back. There it was. The bench I'd carved for her. "Always, always," it read. A quote from when we were kids, something she used to say whenever we'd part ways. Always, always. Apparently, not anymore. I ran my hand over the bench, smooth as glass. The stain still smelled fresh. I slammed the tailgate shut harder than I meant to. Stood there breathing like I'd just been punched. I couldn't stop seeing her face in those pictures. That same lopsided smile from when we were kids. She used to follow me everywhere. Mom and Dad were buried in the diner, 16-hour days, 7 days a week. We learned early how to take care of ourselves, or, more accurately, how I'd take care of her. She was 8 when she fell off the monkey bars and gashed her knee wide open. I remember the way she sobbed, clutching her leg. I was 11. All bones and busted sneakers, but I piggybacked her all the way home. 2 miles, no complaints. That's just what you do. Middle school, she got picked on for being quiet. Some older kid cornered her in the hallway. I don't even remember what I did, just that it ended with me in the principal's office and a 3-day suspension. I didn't care. She was safe. That's who we were. Even as adults, we didn't drift. We had Sunday breakfasts down to a routine. Pancakes, black coffee, usually followed by a hike if the weather was decent. She'd call me every week just to rant about work or ask what tools she should buy. I helped her move into 2 apartments, carried her mattress up 4 flights of stairs, built that patio deck for her one summer when she couldn't afford a contractor. She cried when I finished it, said no one had ever built something just because for her before. When her transmission blew, I fronted her the cash. No questions. Just handed her an envelope. She said she'd pay me back. She never did. I never asked. That's what I did. I showed up. And then came Trent. The guy practically slid into her life like he was stepping onto a red carpet. Real estate license, polished teeth, firm handshake that felt rehearsed. You know the type. Every shirt tucked just right, every joke landing a little too perfectly. He had that face people trust for no reason. Looked like someone who'd never held a shovel or fixed a damn pipe in his life, but still walked into every room like he owned the walls. Madison fell hard, fast, and I tried to give him a chance. But from the start, he looked at me like I was some charity project. Like I was this leftover older brother she hadn't cut loose yet. He never said it out loud back then, but I felt it, and worse, so did she. It started slow. At first it was just a missed call, then two, then she'd text back, "Sorry, crazy day," with a smiley face like that fixed anything. Sunday breakfast got postponed once, no big deal. The next week, she canceled last minute. Trent's mom invited us over, hope that's okay. Okay? What the hell was I gonna say? No. I told myself she was just busy. New relationship. Things change. But it wasn't just that. It was the way she looked at me differently when we were all together. Like I was embarrassing her. Like I said too much, talked too loud, made people uncomfortable. We were at a family dinner one night, birthday or anniversary or something, and Trent was sitting across from me, smug as hell in some designer button-down, chewing with his mouth half open. I was telling Uncle Dave about a Reno job we'd just finished in Lake George, this old 1910 farmhouse we'd gutted and brought back to life. I was proud of that one. Trent cuts in with, "Must be nice swinging a hammer for a living. Beats being stuck in real estate hell all day." Laughed like he was kidding, but his eyes stayed on me too long. No one said a word, not even Madison. She just stared at her wine glass. I let it slide, didn't want to ruin dinner, but after that it just kept stacking. She stopped asking about my projects, would nod and say, "Cool," like I was showing her a kid's art project. She used to light up when I told her about my work. Now she acted like it was beneath her, or worse, beneath him. And the invites, they dried up like that. Cousin Rachel's baby shower, didn't even know it happened till I saw the photos online. I messaged Madison. "Wasn't that last weekend?" She replied, "Oh shoot, I thought you were busy with jobs." One by one, I got pushed out. I still showed up though, dropped off flowers when she got promoted, sent her that handmade charcuterie board when they moved in together, offered to help remodel their kitchen, free labor just because. "Thanks, but we've got it covered," she said. "Trent wants to bring in someone professional." She said it soft, but it hit like a slap. I brushed it off, told myself, she's in love. It'll pass, I believed it. Hell, I needed to believe it, because if I didn't, I'd have to face the truth. I wasn't her go-to anymore. I was becoming just another contact in her phone. The last couple years, her messages turned cold. "Hope all is well. Thinking of you." Nothing real, nothing personal, just filler. I still sent her stuff. Brought homemade chili when Trent had the flu. Made her a birdhouse for her birthday. Hand-painted her favorite colors. She texted a thumbs-up emoji. That was it. I almost threw my phone through the wall. Kevin, my business partner, said, "Man, you're chasing someone who's already made up their mind." I told him he was wrong. I had to tell him that. Because I still thought maybe, after the wedding, things would reset. She'd remember who I was, what we had. I pictured her giving me a real hug at the reception. Us clinking beers like old times, laughing about something stupid from our childhood. Maybe even a toast. "To my brother, who's always had my back." I built that day in my head, clung to it like a life raft. But that day never came. They had it without me. I still remember walking that venue with her. It was 8 months ago. Snow on the ground, sky dull and heavy. Madison wanted something rustic but elegant. I drove her out to that old converted barn near Lake Placid. She said it was perfect. We stood in the empty hall, and she spun in a circle like a little kid. "I'm thinking September 2nd, she said, all giddy. "Labor Day weekend, right? People will already be off." "Perfect," I told her. "I'll be there." Front row, I meant it. Thing is, I never got to save the date. Weeks went by, nothing. I finally texted her. "Did you send those out already?" Didn't think much of it. Mistakes happen. Then the actual invite came, mailed to my old apartment, the one I moved out of over a year before, forwarded just in time. I tore it open, already smiling. The date said August 26th. My stomach dropped. I stared at it, convinced I was reading it wrong. But there it was, plain as day. I checked the envelope, postmarked late like someone rushed it. It didn't make sense. I texted her right away. Got it, can't wait. No reply. That was 2 weeks before the wedding. I figured maybe she was overwhelmed, planning stress, family in town, normal stuff. A week out, I called Dad just to confirm things. Big weekend coming up, huh? I said. He chuckled, distracted. Next weekend'll be special, huh? I remember thinking, he's old. He just got the date wrong. I didn't press. Instead, I focused on the bench. I'd been working on it for weeks in the shop behind the cabin. Maple wood, thick slats, smooth joints. I carved it with that quote we loved from when we were kids. Always, always. She used to whisper it to me at night when the diner stayed open late and we were home alone, scared of the dark. I sanded it 3 times, stained it golden pecan, took my time, every screw perfect, wrapped it in a moving blanket, loaded it into the truck bed. I was proud of it. It felt like something permanent, like a piece of me at her side even when I wasn't around. Day before the wedding, I called Uncle Dave. Figured we'd carpool or grab lunch before the ceremony. Hey, just checking, what time are you heading to the venue tomorrow? That silence hit again. Mark, he said carefully, that wedding was last weekend. I stared out the garage window at the truck, at the bench. No, it's September 2nd. Buddy, it's always been August 26th. I figured something happened. Something did happen, I said, cold. I got played. I hung up. Didn't say goodbye. I didn't sleep. Didn't eat. Didn't answer calls. Just got in the truck that morning, bench still in the back, and drove 4 straight hours down to Albany with my jaw locked and my stomach in knots. Madison and Trent's condo was in one of those sterile high-rise buildings with fake trees and overpriced parking. I pulled up front, double parked, and stomped straight to the intercom. Punched the button so hard I almost cracked it. Hello? Her voice was cautious. I didn't respond, just stood there. 30 seconds later, the door buzzed. When she opened it, her face dropped like she'd seen a ghost. Mark? What are you doing here? I stepped in. Didn't wait for an invite. Her apartment smelled like citrus and furniture polish. Way too clean, too perfect. Just like him. I want the truth, I said. Right now. Why wasn't I told? Why didn't anyone follow up? Why didn't you? She swallowed hard, eyes flicking toward the hallway. Mark, this isn't really... No, I snapped. You don't get to dodge this. I got an invite 2 weeks before your wedding. It was sent to my old address. You never replied when I RSVP'd. Never texted. Nothing. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Then he showed up. Trent stepped into the room like he was walking into a courtroom, barefoot, hair perfect, arms crossed. He gave me that fake-ass smirk. I'm not going to argue with you, man, he shrugged. You always twist things anyway. My hands clenched. I had to breathe through my teeth. Madison, I said, did you ever pick up the phone? Did you even think, hey, maybe I should make sure my brother, the guy who carried me home when I broke my leg, knows when my wedding is? She blinked fast. I thought you knew. No, you hoped I didn't ask questions. Because deep down, you didn't want me there. She turned away, arms wrapped around herself. Say it, I pushed. Say why. She stood silent for a moment, then turned back, voice low. Trent thought you'd try to control things. The wedding, the speech, the energy. He didn't want stress. I stared at her. And you agreed. She didn't say no. Trent chimed in again, smug as hell. You have a way of making everything about you, Mark. You're intense. Always have been intense? I barked. You mean I give a damn? That I show up? That I build benches and fix cars and take care of people when it's inconvenient? He took a step forward, like he was squaring up. You're exhausting, man. You just don't see it. I pulled out my phone, held it up like a loaded gun. Show me, I said. One call, one text, one message where I mattered. Madison broke. Her face crumpled, tears welled up instantly. But she didn't move, didn't touch me, didn't apologize. She just whispered, I didn't know how to fix it. You didn't try, I said. She opened her mouth, but I was already backing toward the door. I didn't yell, didn't slam anything. I was done giving them more than they gave me. When I stepped outside, the sun hit me like a slap. I walked back to the truck, unlocked it, and climbed in. The bench was still there, tied down, wrapped up, waiting. It didn't belong to her anymore. 2 weeks later, her name lit up my phone like a curse. Madison. Incoming call. I let it ring once, twice. I should have ignored it. I answered anyway. Hey, she said, soft and breezy like nothing had happened. I've been thinking, maybe it's time we try to make peace. I leaned against the porch rail, staring out at the lake. My jaw tensed. She kept going. We're planning a post-wedding barbecue, just family. Casual, laughter, food, maybe a little music. We thought your place would be perfect. The lake, the space. Trent already mentioned it to a few people. I froze. They'd cut me out of the wedding, ghosted me for months, lied to my face. And now, they wanted to use my cabin like it was some Airbnb party venue. Let me get this straight, I said. I wasn't good enough to sit at your wedding, but you want to borrow the view now? She sighed. Mark, don't make this ugly. This isn't just about you. Everyone else deserves a celebration too. Don't punish them. There it was, the guilt trip, her go-to. You really said that with a straight face? I asked. After what you pulled? I'm trying here, okay? We're trying. No, you're organizing damage control. She fell silent. Then, just above a whisper, please don't hold this against the whole family. I didn't scream, didn't hang up. I just said, no. My answer's no. An hour later, my dad called. Son, your sister's trying. That's something. You should meet her halfway. Halfway? I laughed. She had a damn wedding without me. That night, I typed one group message, plain and sharp. No, my property is not available. I need space. No further discussion. I hit send. Tossed my phone onto the couch. The next day, the ripple hit. Cousin Emily texted, I get it. I'm proud of you. 2 others messaged vague support. Thumbs up, thinking of you, that kind of thing. Then came the pissed ones. Cousin Drew. Dude, seriously? The whole family has to suffer now? Aunt Lorraine. You always did make things dramatic. I didn't reply to any of it, not even Madison's follow-up. I guess we'll find somewhere else. Sorry you feel this way. Sorry you feel this way. The most cowardly sentence in the English language. I kept the bench in the shed. Still wrapped, still untouched. They could throw their BBQ somewhere else. Not on my land, not under my roof, not after what they did. The BBQ happened without me. Rental venue outside Saratoga. White tents, plastic chairs. The whole relaxed and classy vibe they probably saw on Pinterest. I saw the photos 2 days later. Someone tagged me by mistake. Everyone smiling like the wedding drama never happened. My parents, my cousins, even Aunt Lorraine fake laughing over a red Solo cup. And right in the middle, grinning like a smug bastard, was Trent, holding up a beer. The caption on his Instagram said it all. Good vibes only. No drama, no distractions. I didn't comment. Didn't message anyone. Just closed the app and tossed my phone onto the porch swing. No bitterness, just clarity. I knew exactly where I stood now. Funny thing happened after that. My phone started ringing again. Not from family, from friends. Kevin started coming up to the cabin more. We'd grill out, throw horseshoes, drink whiskey till midnight. Rick, my neighbor across the lake, started stopping by with his old mutt and a 6-pack. Guy's a retired firefighter, hard edge but solid. We fished, we worked on the dock, we sat around the fire and didn't say much. It was enough. I rebuilt my circle, just smaller, tighter, quieter, and real. Poker night started on Thursdays. I got good at ribs. Kevin taught me how to finally beat him at Texas Hold'em. Rick brought homemade jerky and stories that belonged in a bar, not a porch. One night, late September, cool wind off the lake and bourbon in our glasses, Rick looked over the flames and said, "You did the hard thing, man." I didn't answer right away. He leaned back in the camp chair, eyes steady. "Most folks just roll over for family. Let 'em walk all over 'em 'cause of blood." "You didn't." I stared into the fire. The crackling wood sounded louder than his words. "I didn't want to lose 'em," I said. "Yeah," he nodded. "But they were fine losing you." That hit. He poured another splash of bourbon into both glasses, then added, "I've seen it. You say no once, and suddenly you're the villain. Doesn't mean you're wrong." I lifted my glass. "To villains, then." He grinned. "Damn right." The fire popped. The lake shimmered dark and quiet behind us. No speeches, no party tents, no fake apologies, just peace. I didn't need their barbecue. I had my own. A few months later, her name popped up again. Madison, text message. "Do you have a minute to talk?" It's important I stared at it for a while before calling. Her voice was quiet, raw in a way I hadn't heard in years. "Things with Trent aren't good," she said. "He's controlling, moody. I can't breathe in that place I didn't say I told you so. Didn't even think it. I just listened." She kept going. "I started therapy. I'm working on stuff. I know what I did was wrong, Mark. I see it now." I exhaled slow. "You're still my sister. But we rebuild this at my pace, not yours." She didn't argue, just whispered, "Okay." That was the first time I believed she meant it. A few weeks later, Mom and Dad drove up to the cabin. No call ahead, just showed up with a peach cobbler and a look like they owed me more than dessert. We sat on the porch, the lake glassy and still. "I want to say I'm sorry," Mom said. "We should have called. We should have told you. We just thought you'd get over it." Like always, Dad nodded, eyes low. "We messed that up." I sipped my coffee and let the silence hang before saying, "I got tired of being the forgiving one." Mom blinked, then looked away. "It cost me too much," I added. "I'm done pretending I'm not angry when I am." They didn't push back, didn't guilt trip, they just nodded. And that was a start. By early spring, Madison called again, not to ask for anything, just to talk. "I'm thinking of leaving," she said. I didn't ask questions, just said, "Tell me when." 2 weeks later, she did. We waited till Trent was at a showing. I drove down with my truck, backed into the garage, and we loaded her stuff up in silence. Her hands shook when we packed the last box. She looked at me like she didn't deserve the help. "I'm not doing this for you," I said. "I'm doing it because you finally stopped pretending everything was fine." She nodded, didn't cry, just closed the truck bed and said, "Thank you." We didn't become best friends overnight, but she started coming up to the cabin again. Early walks around the lake, coffee on the deck, real conversations that didn't feel rehearsed. She didn't bring Trent up much. I didn't need her to. We talked about growing up, the time we hid in the diner freezer to scare Dad, the trip to Lake George where I almost flipped the canoe. She laughed for real, big, full, loud like she used to. I hadn't heard that sound in years. One day she asked, "Do you think we can ever get back to how it was?" I shook my head. "No, but we can build something better if we do it right." That seemed to land. We walked in silence after that, crunch of gravel under our boots. Didn't need words, just movement in the right direction. The smell of smoked ribs still hung in the air when I stepped out to the porch. Dishes stacked high in the kitchen. Beer bottles clinked in the recycling bin. Inside, laughter buzzed low, just the people who showed up when it mattered. I'd kept the invite list small: Kevin, Rick, A couple cousins who'd backed me from the start. Madison, of course, and Chloe, my niece, who'd driven up from Binghamton with a homemade peach pie and questions in her eyes. Madison came up to me after dinner, holding something wrapped in brown paper. "I wanted to give you this," she said. I took it and peeled back the edges. It was a photo, faded, creased, framed cheap. Me and her as kids, halfway through building that janky tree fort behind the diner. I must have been 11, hammer in hand. She was 8, holding a crooked board like it was treasure. "We built things together once," she said. "I hope we can again." I looked at it for a long second. No tears, just a nod. "We'll see." Later, I was out by the fire pit tossing logs on the flames when Chloe pulled up a chair beside me, plate of pie in her lap. "You know," she said, picking at the crust, "I still can't believe you told everyone no." I gave her a side glance. "Why not?" "Because they're family," she shrugged. "Most people just cave." I took a sip of my beer, let the silence stretch. She leaned in. "How'd you not let them guilt you into saying yes?" "Simple," I said. "I stopped letting people who hurt me set the rules." She blinked like no one had ever put it that plain before. After everyone left, I sat out on the porch with the dog at my feet and the fire still going. The stars were sharp above the trees, and the lake didn't make a sound. That cabin used to mean success, a trophy for all the years I worked myself raw. Now it meant something else. Peace. Peace I earned through pain. Dignity I earned through loss. I took one last sip, let the firelight warm my face, and looked down at the photo on the table beside me. Kids with scraped knees and sawdust in our hair, building something that never really stood straight. But we tried, and this time, we'd build it better. I smiled to myself. Not everything broken needs to be fixed. Some things just need to be left behind.